Good afternoon. Welcome to this session. Thank you for coming here. I think it's a lot of time because there are already people having lunch. Thank you to the people who is connected in the online connection. I'm María Eugenia Díaz. I'm head director of Sectoral Strategy Department at CERCOBE, the Spanish National Association of Manufacturers of Capital Goods. I'm really pleased of being the moderator of this session about the reconstruction of Ukraine and how technology industries can catalyze this process in the future integration. What you can see in the screen is the approach from the art to the union between industry, the Spanish industry, and a country in a frame of war. When President Zelensky, in his intervention in the Spanish parliament, named CERCOBE as a collaborator of the invader, CERCOBE had the necessity of showing what CERCOBE really mean, and what's our mission in the industrial scene. Having the opportunity to show the potential of our industry, CERCOBE has now the recognition to be, from Ukraine, to be a priority entity in the reconstruction of Ukraine. Concordia, this picture, is a two-parts painting where the famous painter Ángel Uranga represents the story that CERCOBE and Ukraine has built from this situation. Now, the part representing Spain is shown in the Embassy of Ukraine in Madrid, and the part representing Ukraine is in our offices in Madrid, in CERCOBE's offices. When the war is over, these two parts will travel to Ukraine and will be shown together wherever they decide. This painting represents this history that touches everyone's hearts and has knit together both parts and give rise to a deep reflection, at this the time to make the reflection, how the transformative power of engineering industries in Ukraine's reconstruction and the integration into a single market. European industries are providing now vital infrastructure to Ukraine citizens today, while simultaneously laying the groundwork of Ukraine's future integration in the European Union and the single market. The European quality standards, commitment with the protection of the environment are being introduced now in Ukraine. We have the golden panelists here today that I think that will feel this reflection from different perspectives. I would like to introduce Malte Lohan, Director General from Orgalin, Europe Technology Industries, Mr. Igor Ivanchenko, Head of Economy Department at the Embassy of Ukraine in Spain, Mr. Jaime Castro, Deputy General Manager for Sales and Purchasing at Electra Molins, and Mrs. María Ángeles Arroyo, Managing Director at Prema Technica. Thank you for being here today. I want to start the debate. I would like to ask you all the same first question. You have 5 minutes. Please be as fast as possible. Try to this time. I want to start with you, Malte, and the question is the same. What's your vision about the role of engineering industry and manufacturing in helping advance the integration of Ukraine in the internal market?
Thank you, Maria Eugenia. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and good afternoon to all those joining online. Particular welcome to the colleagues from Ukraine joining the EU Industry Days 2023. I think if we look back over the past year and a half, and we look at the performance of Ukrainian military, of the Ukrainian economy, of Ukrainian civil society, it's crystal clear that they see their future inside of Europe. And I think it's crystal clear that they belong inside of Europe. And we all know the path to a full European membership is difficult and slow. All those member states that have joined in the past have gone through that experience. And probably it is the most difficult path to integration in the EU that any country has ever faced, because Ukraine is working on this in the context of a war still happening as we speak. The government leaders are meeting this week in Granada to try and map out the process for welcoming Ukraine and a number of other candidate countries into the EU in the relatively near future. But we know that Europe also has a lot of homework to do. The candidates have to do their work, but Europe itself has to do a lot of work as well if we want to be able to integrate Ukraine and the other future member states into the single market, into the EU. So it's not going to happen overnight. I think that's the first important point we all recognize. But it must be the clear goal, and we have to start today if we are to succeed in the medium term with the integration into the single market and into the EU. So how can our industries help? Of course, the priority for Ukraine remains fighting the war. But we can already start planning for the recovery, because sooner or later the war will have to come to an end and the recovery will start at full speed. Let's look at where Ukraine is today in terms of our industries, in terms of technology. So the United Nations Industrial Development Organization considers Ukraine to be a laggard country when it comes to digitalization and digital production technologies. No surprise. But Ukraine is also a big player when it comes to IT outsourcing. So already there is a solid foundation. I think it's ranked the 24th country globally in terms of IT outsourcing. And many multinational technology manufacturers are already present in Ukraine today. So in the chaos and all the suffering that is still going on, what I wanted to talk about is an opportunity if we look a little bit further down the line. And it may seem hard for us to look at this situation as an opportunity, but I think it is there. And that is related to the modernization that can happen as part of the recovery of Ukraine and the future integration. It's an opportunity to leapfrog a stage of industrial development which in many European countries has taken years, if not decades. With the recovery and the complete rebooting of its economy and of its industry, Ukraine can jump ahead. And it can rebuild with an ambition to be integrated into the EU as a leader in clean manufacturing, as a leader in electrification, as a leader in Industry 4.0, which other member states are still working on and may struggle even in the next 3, 4, 5 years to get where they want to be. These are sectors which are adding a lot of value to the economy. And these are sectors that are also in Europe's own strategic interest, because integrating a Ukraine which is at the top of the game when it comes to clean and advanced manufacturing, to electrification, to Industry 4.0, will strengthen our geopolitical resilience and our geopolitical position as a European continent. So how can we do this? It's a step-by-step process. We start today, and we know it's going to be a hard work to get there. But we can start today with technological integration. We don't have to wait for the legal systems to integrate to start sharing standards and best practices from Europe with the Ukraine. When it comes to industrial technologies, a lot of the global leaders are right here in Europe, are at the doorstep of Ukraine, are already partner companies for the Ukrainian industry. Let's take advantage of that to start the technological integration. Second, let's take advantage of the experience we have working with countries that are not fully integrated into the EU and the single market today, but that are nonetheless an integral part of Europe. The way we look at our industries, we don't believe we are an EU industry, we are a European industry. That includes the UK, that includes Switzerland, that includes Norway, that includes Turkey. And of course there is not one model for those countries in how we work with them, and there may be different lessons that can be applied for Ukraine. But there are clearly plenty of ways for the European economy to be functioning as a cohesive economy without full integration from day one into the single market. We already have the association agreement with Ukraine. We can come closer in terms of the European research area, in terms of Horizon Europe, the R&D program, in terms of Digital Europe, our digital program, in terms of the Connecting Europe facility, which is about infrastructure investments, and many others. And that can happen without having to wait for full membership. And finally, and this is my last point, our industries offer a vision for growth and for modernization, which is just as relevant for Ukraine as it is for Europe as a whole. We know we are not where we want to be in Europe today when it comes to our competitiveness and our innovation potential. Look at the R&D intensity, so how much we spend on R&D in Europe compared to GDP. We are not world class. We're at around 2%. We should be double if we wanted to be world class. Productivity in Europe is falling, and the gap with the US is widening as we speak. And so there is a big challenge, not just for Ukraine, but for Europe as a whole, to make sure that our economy in the future is able to remain competitive. And unless we manage with that, we're not going to be able to support Ukraine with its integration. We're not going to be able to pay for the $350 billion which are going to be needed to support the recovery of Ukraine and allow it to integrate into Europe. So we need a thriving industry. We need that in the Ukraine, but we also need that in the rest of Europe. And I think our industries, engineering technology industries, have a blueprint for what the future competitive economy of Europe needs to look like. Let's use that as the starting point for ourselves as well as for our Ukrainian friends.
Thank you, Malte. Well, this is this European vision. I think it's widened all our expectation of what we expected to this trivial question. Jaime, please, the floor is yours now, and please share your vision about this.
Okay. First of all, good afternoon to everybody here in the room and those who are connected online. And I would like to thank Cercove and the organization to give me the opportunity to represent a small and family company in a forum like this. No? From the beginning, Russian invasion caused and is still causing a massive disruption of the economy in Ukraine. And the economic damaging infrastructures and environment and livelihoods of Ukrainian people. What are our objectives during the war? In the war, we have to strengthen the resilience of Ukrainian people by supplying materials, by supplying equipments, by supplying everything necessary to keep them resisting the invasion. One step more there to allow the normal life of people in Ukraine, and then this must be an objective. Out of the war zones, people must normalize their lives, and they have to be prepared for the reconstruction once war finished. An objective afterwards must be to facilitate the integration of the Ukraine into the European Union and standardizing infrastructures and objectives and goals with all the European Union. But going back to the question, how can we help to achieve these general and desirable and wide objectives? From the point of view, I say that as a 75 years old company, family small and eminently national, companies must have success in its own territory, and once done that, we have been able to expand our market by thanks to the single market with regulation, with regulation, and within the common framework that allows to do that. This is the way I think that Ukrainian companies have to be there covering. By complying with the standards that establish and guarantee quality, security and sustainability of the projects, of the manufacturing, of the constructions. At this point, I would like to correct compliance, well-defined and demanding regulators like European aligns Ukrainian reconstruction with European principles, and this must be a link and a basis point for the integration of Ukrainian in the European Union. In this sense, it's also mandatory to prevent predatory practices that take advantage from suppliers that take advantage of the needings of Ukrainian people, and then they need to reliable suppliers that ensure the quality with good performance, and as well as providing proper maintenance services, because all of that together provides is sustainability, because good products and good constructions prolong the life of the constructions and equipments, and this is sustainable. The objectives, if the objective is allowing Ukraine into the European Union, the sooner they abide by the rules, the sooner they will be in business. And then European engineering and technology companies can and have to guide and accompany the Ukrainian companies into this path.
That's a really practical vision from one company that have to fight in the national competitivity, and then expand to a bigger market in the European market. Also with this facilitating the integration of this.
Is the way we did it?
Yeah. It's a really a good point to replicate, no? Thank you. Maria Angeles, please give us your opinion about this.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. I want to say hi, welcome to everybody who is in the room, and also to those who are, online. And thank you for inviting us, for giving Prima Technica the opportunity of participating in this excellent event, to Cercove and Orgalim, and especially to Maria Eugenia, who has been taking care of all of us. So I do agree, obviously, with all the points that the other opponents have mentioned, especially with Jaime. He has mentioned three key points, which are the common framework that we are sharing, the rules and quality standards, and the compliance. Okay, I would like to go beyond and talk about three things: opportunities of innovation, training, capabilities, and impact. Regarding the opportunities, engineering industry and manufacturing are a critical sector for building a country. In fact, we are a backbone. Okay, like a backbone, we support the body, we support the energy and water access. We handle transportation and infrastructure. So anything that is related to accuracy, allowances, and high standards, okay? As engineers, we know what we are talking about. So because once you comply with those high technical standards, once a region has achieved those, they allow themselves to be aligned with other regions nearby, with other countries, okay? So you get easily aligned with them, and you become a part of the same ecosystem of opportunities. And for instance, to participate in research and development programs, so that is leading you to the innovation. Okay, as Malte was mentioning before, the percentage that the European Union is investing in research and development is poor. Okay, it's 2%, and it's really, you should be investing more. So once the Ukraine make them theirs, it's the technical European standards, it will be easy for them to be part of these research and development programs, fostering the innovation as previously mentioned. The second thing is our training. You know, the capacity of development of the country, together with the policy, industrial policy advice. Okay, the engineering companies should be also helping out on that. Okay, to Ukraine. Okay, they have talented people for sure, and they should be trained and provided with the good tools to improve their skills, okay, in the engineering sector. And because engineering is always at the state of the art, providing state-of-the-art solutions, customized solutions. And this is not one side, you know, that fits all. We need to talk about small and small and medium enterprises and large companies. And each one has a dedicated program because they have different features, okay? But at the end, to achieve a global common aim. And the third point would be the impact. As engineering industry and manufacturing companies, we always are considering the impact of our product, our service. But we need to take into account very seriously the impact on the environment and the labor impact. We are talking about how we handle the air pollution control, the water pollution, and also the labor, the impact on people. Okay, health and safety are very important issues to be considered and to be implemented everywhere in the UA and also in Ukraine. Indeed, yeah. So, and also empowerment of women and youth. Okay. So as just to finish, as engineering industry and manufacturing, we need to foster cross-cutting priorities. Okay, already mentioned in the UNIDO work. Okay, and we can do it.
Thank you, Maria Angeles. Really interesting reflection about this fostering of women, the youth in jobs. Finally, to finalize with this round of questions, I would like to invite Jörg to share your vision. There are the other side. We have Europe, and we have Ukraine, and we have a representative of the embassy here. So please, it's your turn.
Thank you, Maria. First of all, I have to express our deeply appreciate to Cercobe as a co-organizer of this wonderful event and provided us with such a wonderful opportunity to share with Commonwealth, with the European Union, with the European community, our vision of our integration. And to my vision, we can't, how to say, while speaking about the industrial integration and the role of the way of Ukraine to the industrial marriage with the European Union, we just not to forget that we have to have a wider look and to talk not only about the let's say integration to the internal market, but we have to proceed from the role of the future role of Ukraine and its place in the European market at all. And in many European countries and a lot of the world, other countries of the world, there is a custom when the bride comes to marriage with a growry. And what is a growry to Ukraine? First of all, it's huge natural resources, abundant natural resources with very rare materials. And I think the future industry, this development is not possible without those resources base, and we do have it. Second, we have highly developed scientific and industrial bases. Just not to forget that the biggest airplane in the world was established in Ukraine. And just periodic table of Mendeleev. Mendeleev was a professor of Kyiv Polytechnic University, where I am the student correspondence course now, as I wanted to be. And as well as we have not to forget about the motivated, highly educated, and with the subsequent skills, labor forces of like Ukrainians, and their ability, their creativity. So I think it's a wonderful prerequisite to start, to begin with. Secondly, we have to mention that during the last 20, 30 years, Ukrainian industry was underinvested. We have huge potential for development in different areas. Let's say we are not talking about agriculture where we supply about 600 million people with foodstuff. We can do even more, but we can proceed many other things, and to find the way to cooperate with European countries, with European just industrial partners in different areas. And I think the role of Cercoba, because I'm in Spain, I have to talk about our Spanish-Ukrainian relations. I think Cercoba can play a wonderful role in this regard. And just let me remind some figures that, let's say, when we are talking about the core stores of the future economy, number one is green energy, and Ukraine can produce up to 350 billions of goods just based on this in the coming years. Also, we can we will welcome the European companies to participate in development of our mines, in establishing let's say processing industries and full stack productivity lines. And this market also just evaluate up to 300 billion should be can reach this figures as well. And I think our goal now just to identify this the avenues where Ukraine and European industrialists could find the point of cooperation. I think this is our goal, and we are ready to support this activity, to do all our best. And I think, but of course, we can decide, and we can talk about after our victory. And of course, we have not to forget about the refurbishment of our industry. And because what we need now, I think, the modern technology, I mean energy-saving technology, just automation, high-tech, just cooperation, and I think this will provide a boost for not only for Ukrainian, but it will impact just very positively to all European industrial sector. I think this is my opinion personally.
Okay, thank you, Igor, for your vision. You all four have done a long-term process, but now they are in a framework of work. And I would like to follow with this debate to focus now in the short-term vision. What's the contribution in this short-term vision of Europe engineering and technology companies supporting resilience in Ukraine in the frame of the war? Malte, please, if you want to be the first one.
Sure. So you can hear me? Microphone is on? Yeah? Okay, now. So clearly the war obviously is still going on, and it's good that we talk about the future, but the reality today, of course, is one of fighting at the front lines and suffering. Three things that our companies are doing to help: donations, value chains, sanctions. Donations. Obviously, huge amounts of help by the public sector across Europe and also from other parts of the world is flowing to Ukraine. We have also received direct requests for donations from the industry to help Ukraine with its resilience. And almost from day one of the war, we have helped the European Commission coordinate donations from companies across our industries to Ukraine. And a lot of our national associations have also worked very closely with their own authorities to donate. And we had very, very dense Excel sheets of the lists of products that Ukraine was looking for: generators, batteries, cables, wires, transformers, chainsaws, heat pumps, you name it. How many, what kind of performance specs were required, and so on. So a very, very clear demand for help through donations. And the companies have stepped up. So just to take the case of Schneider Electric, in the context of the fall of 2022, when Ukraine was preparing for the winter, a tough period, Ukraine donated 4.5 million euros worth of equipment just for that period. So extrapolate for this to get a sense of the magnitude of donations. Second point, value chains. Of course, Ukraine is already strong in some clusters that are quite strongly integrated with Europe. Take the automotive cluster that many will be thinking of. It's a difficult environment for European tech companies active in Ukraine to keep operations going. Of course, big choices related to security of their workers, some of the staff which is simply not able to show up in the morning anymore because it's on the front lines. Insurances are refusing to cover your logistics when you're going across the border. So very, very practical challenges to keep the value chains open. And of course, when they get shut down, that's a big hit on the resilience of Ukraine. And so in the short term, we have worked very closely with the Commission to help the value chains remain open wherever that was possible. Third, sanctions. From day one of the invasion, Orgalim has been clear that we stand behind the decisions of our leaders to sanction Russia. Yes, that comes at a cost to our companies, but that cost is clearly worth paying given the long-term objectives. And so the trouble with sanctions is always you have to make a trade-off between being targeted to hit the aggressor in this case, but with minimal collateral damage on your own interests and your own economy. That's a very tough balancing act to get right. And if you get it wrong, there is a sort of a negative feedback loop where the citizens in Europe start saying, what are we doing hurting our own economy, our own pensions, our own social security schemes and so on. Just look at the election in Slovakia. This was all about one leader saying Europe has gone too far in hurting its own interests. So clearly there's a role for us and many others to make sure that the sanctions are tailored in the right way so that they cause maximum damage to the aggressor without hitting Europe's citizens and Europe's industries in a disproportionate way. And we have worked side by side with the Commission to get that right. We are doing that as we speak. We are working on a particular problem with the latest sanction package that we're trying to fix as we speak right now. So those are the three things that I would say in the short term are where our companies are helping with the resilience of Ukraine.
Thank you, Malte. We have heard a lot of impact that the European industry have in Ukraine, and I would like to know in your decision-making process, how important is this European vision, the European criteria? How do you mirror this when you are selecting contributors or providers? Because I know that you are in a situation really critical, but we are fostering this the contribution of the technology and this quality standards and so on. And I would like to know if you take into account this when you have to select between one provider to another.
To my mind, when we are talking about this European standards of decision making, we just we have to imagine not that we are talking not only about just money making or just input and output, because I guess it is more wider. This issue is more wider, and to my mind, it should be like very comprehensive decision making, including not only business but issues, but only social issues, social effect we can reach due to this decision, the business decision or business activity, the environment impact, what we could reach due to this activity, so this is business development, and there are many other things. And I think that this is the area where we can, let's say, acquire a lot from the European business culture and the management culture, because unfortunately, this past a lot of years under the, let's say, the Soviet regime, we not allowed just to develop this social standardization, social standards. And I think this is the activity, and this is the area, and this is the direction, the way, the style of way of thinking, where what we have to, let's say, acquire and enrich our culture, business culture. This is my opinion.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. It's important to know the other part, the vision. Okay, well, Jaime, you have some experience with providing equipment to Ukraine, and I would like to add this contribution to this, this conversation.
Okay. For starting, power supply is absolutely necessary in our lives because they are based in electricity. And then we can say that power is life. And then to have an access to a reliable electrical supply is a must. Is a must to move forward in every situation. And this is good for gensets or also for other suppliers of electrical equipment like Schneider Electric or medium voltage cells or transformers. But it would be desirable that this electrical supply came always from the public grid and came from green plants. But unfortunately, in situations like nowadays in Ukraine, this is not always possible everywhere, and then is when gensets or generators becomes a better option to make a sustainable life to help normalize again life in Ukraine. That is what are we talking about? If going to explain a couple of examples of how our equipments are helping nowadays to Ukrainian users. We supplied some of our equipments by the hand of Cercove, and one of them has an international scope because it is a very big factory of sunflower oil in one of the hottest zones affected by the war. They have 500 employees, and we supplied them 3 gensets, more than 3,000 gensets more than 3,000 kilowatts power, and they are nowadays working 2 days a week, but in several occasions they have to run during days and days because they don't have supply from the public grid. And then these gensets allow them to keep up with their production without affecting their customers, their clients all around the world. The other example is more local, and is a small manufacturer in the food sector also, but in the province of Kiev, and they manufacture for civilians and also for military purposes. After 1 year, they didn't have to stop production. Even they have to use our gensets, and they are working properly. No? Then these two examples show how to be independent to have an independent supply from the public grid helps to normalize lives, and even in the worst scenarios, like when the infrastructures have been destroyed or disabled by the enemy, or in other situations by natural disasters, for example. And in this sense, then it is important to have good products that follow and meet regulations that ensure European standards of quality, and this makes sustainable all the products and the projects.
Great. Great examples of how the contribution in the real life that they are suffering now, and you can help somehow. There are lots of details that will allow Ukraine to reach these goals. In the short term, we are contributing some ways. In the long term, we have another vision. And we have talked about commitments with sustainability, with the SDG that we'll acquire when using European technology. And I would like you, Maria Angeles, that I know that you have knowledge about you are in close contact with the SDGs. What do you think that which other goals, with other SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, will be covered, and how will contribute to this development of these little enterprises, medium, and that you also mentioned before?
Okay, so it is not only about Ukraine, but it's true that we are living in a fragmented landscape, and we are facing global challenges altogether. So coming back to Ukraine, the recovery of Ukraine by Lugano principles, it was said that Ukraine will impact, as per also what Igor was talking before, in the 3 ones, okay, 9, 13, and 17. 9 is related to the to build a resilient industry, a resilient infrastructure, okay, that will help to supply chain security, and also to promote inclusive, okay, considering all the people, taking about labors and without any gender and age bias people, and decarbonize industrialization, and to foster innovation. And this is obviously linked to the 13, which is climate actions. In climate actions, to mitigate the climate emergency that we have to consider circular economy, and this is directly with the waste, related to the agriculture, which is also a relevant part of the Ukraine's economy. And 17 is related to the partnership to achieve the sustainable goals among partnerships among all the players. And in this case, obviously, the European Union is the closer partner that Ukraine has at the moment to achieving a better situation. I'm not talking only about the conflict, but afterwards. So those three will be really, having an impact. And regarding the micro, small, and medium enterprises, obviously they are part of that ecosystem, and they need to be involved on the development, because, economic, as mentioned before, economic and empowerment of women and youth, and especially with most of the male, the average middle-aged men involved in the conflict. Okay, so women, need to be there. Okay, surely in the micro enterprises they are pushing already, to get things done, and innovation will help out. The collaboration between private and public sector will be also very, very relevant to achieve a better situation, which is what all of us wish.
Thank you. If you want to
just
add
just a few words,
yes,
just
okay.
to develop this meaning with this idea, because it is very important for us, I think.
Great.
We have to extend the terms sustainability to enlarge these terms, and to divide in progressive sustainability, stable, and crucial or urgent. And Ukraine now just is under the urgent sustainability, which means that we have to maintain the activity and in our areas which are suffering from the attacks or the bombarding of the Russian aggressor. Meanwhile, the Russia also just crushing our energy infrastructure, just to halt us from, to prevent us from maintain our industry, our economy. And I think the very important thing just to help us restore our energy infrastructure, to maintain, to keep operating our industry sector, and to support the zones which are suffering from close to the conflict. And this is I think this is a prerequisite of our common victory over the Russian aggressor. Thank you.
Of course, the situation doesn't allow you to have this long-term vision, and you need some things to make it done right now. And it's really important to know your necessities. But what I think that we all share is that there's a vision that will allow you in the future, that now is not the first need that you are considering, but at the same time you are coping with this necessity in the near the time now, right now. You are going to be helped in the future.
Yes, it is an interruptible process, 3-stage, but interruptible.
Steps.
That's it.
Steps.
Thank you for your reflection. I want to open the floor to our audience, just to warm a little bit. I'd like you to raise your hand, just to have an idea if you agree with this idea of the industry has a key role play to Ukraine's reconstruction. If you agree, please raise your hand, just to have a vision. Okay, thank you. And another question is if the industry has a key role to play in Ukraine's ability to join the European Union. Great. I hope people in the internet also raise their hands. Here, I'm really grateful that we all share this vision. I don't know if there's someone. It's like 6 minutes left for this session. If there are some people in the audience that want to ask something to our panelists, please feel free to add something. There's people here. If you okay, they are going to give you a microphone. Please.
Good afternoon.
Try again.
Good afternoon, dear panelists and participant of session. In beginning, I want to thank European colleague from Sir Kobe and Orgalim for your noblest initiative, organizing session devoted recovery of Ukraine. My name is Volodymyr Matyushko. I am ambassador industry for Ukraine. I took part in preparation master plan recovery of Ukraine in framework Republic Korea Ukraine memorandum as lead expert from Ukrainian side. Master plan is very comprehensive, include such area as humanitarian aid, defense and security, energy and environment, macrofinancial stability, technology, sciences, culture and sport, and development business environment. On base master plan, GAUT for Korean company prepared. Already 3 high-level conference conducted in 22 and 23. My question, what approach planning use European company and Spanish company for recovery of Ukraine during and after war? Thank you.
I don't know, Malte, if you have some vision from the European point of view, or maybe Igor, if you have mentioned, have in mind this plan of the reconstruction, maybe it's better for you this question.
Just first of all, I have to admit that nowadays in Ukraine was already established a system of, let's say, canalization or just, let's say, development from the beginning and just reaching the resulted oriented system to in terms of reconstruction. So we have presidential fund for reconstruction, we have a state agency for reconstruction and development, we have just even we established special ministry just by means of united several of them just into one structure to manage this process in a better way. And also we rely on our European partners who are also just working on this, and in order to combine these two things. And we're supposed to, and to this regard, we're supposed to arrange just close to the end of November one conference with some NGO, Spanish NGO, and institutions, Spanish institutions like Loreto Cuenca Foundation and other, and to bring the leaders of Spanish industry, the leaders of banking sector, and from outside Spain, like from the European Union, European Bank, just to discuss this and to develop the roadmap, maybe just the practical roadmap, better to say, just directed, oriented to the implementation of this. And also we deliver activity now to extend the base of cooperation at the regional level, because as far understood, the basic prerequisites it's the local priorities, and the local authorities has to figure out their needs and to meet the requirements in order to meet this assistance offered. And now we just working on establishing about Spain. We are working on establishing just a partnership or brotherhood relations between different localities, between Comunidad Madrid and Kiev's region, let's say. Or just last year we signed the memo on partnership and brotherhood between Kiev and Madrid, and in order to concentrate this business activity and business, let's say, expression aimed at the construction and help us, assist us to reconstruct, to rebuild in the right way, and to collect just a comprehensive assistance from all sides. This is what we are doing as embassy.
We only have 1 minute for the final. I don't know if you have some other question. I don't know. Okay, there's another one here, please.
Hi. Yeah, I'm Anastasia Konstantinova. I'm also Ukrainian, but work for long years in Europe at Technopolis Group. So we support in research, science, and technology across different areas. And specifically for Ukraine, I was wondering, can you share which of the areas or industries where you see a lot of opportunities for the reconstruction, especially for the large companies, as I guess this is where also less attention from, or less public funding currently available for the recovery. So maybe your opinion from large industries would be very appreciated. Thanks.
Okay, I think it's also
I
for
guess it is to the European Union question. Whom are you asking?
Well, any of you, but I guess indeed.
I guess I already just explained our vision. Maybe we will hear something from the European Union.
I know maybe you have, can add something to this, the opportunities for the largest companies in Europe.
I see the clock is now on the red light,
saying,
now
come on,
blinking,
come on.
and I don't
Yeah.
even know if my microphone is on. No?
No.
So maybe while I keep talking, they can put it on. Yeah?
No, it's okay now.
Look, I mean, I know we're over time, so I think maybe just a really brief point. It's clear where we want to go. You know, what we all heard, Ukraine has made its choice crystal clear, and I think Europe has also made its choice crystal clear that Ukraine's future is in Europe. But let's be honest about the size of that task. You know, I think that's maybe the point I wanted to add to both of the questions. We know where we want to go, but it is a huge lift to get there. It's for Ukraine, obviously, but for Europe too. You know, just this morning in the Financial Times, there was a story that the accession of Ukraine, not to mention the other potential future member states, would cut the size of the EU's agricultural budget by 1/5. You can imagine that will just not fly without a huge amount of preparation and massaging for the member states to accept this. And that's just one example. There's dozens others where the entire fabric of Europe will be different when Ukraine joins. And so I think let's just be honest about the size of the task. Let's start now and do it step by step. Start with the easy things and get there. But let's not fool ourselves about how big a mountain it is to climb.
And the estimation cost of reconstruction in Ukraine, according to the latest paper of our Ministry of Economy, comes to 900 billions of USD. So we have to understand this figure, and we have to understand not how we will collect, but how we will distribute, how we will use it in a more efficient way. And we can do this job only together.
Yeah.
Well, it's time to close the session. Thank you very much for your contribution. I think that it has been a fruitful conversation here. I hope you also enjoy the session and have the feeling that it's worth to be here. And that's all. Thank you very much. If you want to share something, we have time now outside to share this our vision. Thank you very much, and thank you also for being here.